Hello my darlings. Today on my channel I am going to show you how to create a Dollar Tree centerpiece for all of $5, of course with the option to embellish it any way you'd like. Stay tuned. For this project, you will need one 8-inch round styrofoam, one 8-inch glass diamond cut bowl, one medium round vase, two bare glasses. You will need some greening pins, fall florals of your choice. You will need some crystal garlands and crystal pendants. And of course, you will need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to build up our centerpiece. And as you can see, what I'm showing you here is that bare glass is going to fit snugly on that second rung on the base of our bowl. And so to build up our centerpiece, what we are going to do is we're going to use our Gorilla Glue epoxy to glue this or build this piece up. And the reason why we're using that Gorilla Glue epoxy is because we're working with glass on glass, and Gorilla Glue epoxy, or any kind of epoxy rather, is best when you're working with glass products. And so as you can see here, I am simply putting my epoxy around the lip or the brim of that glass, and once I have, I'm going to sit that glass right on top of that center rung of that bowl. I applied some pressure for about 5 seconds, and now I'm leveling it to make sure that that piece is standing straight up. Now, so that we do not waste any of that epoxy that we have mixed, and since that piece is already leveled and that edge or etch is going to hold that glass in place, I'm simply going to go ahead now in one motion and place my second glass on top of that glass. And all I'm doing is placing my epoxy on top of that glass to ensure, nope, it's not gonna work because I've already placed glue there, but now I'm placing my glass on top, and what I'm going to do once I've placed it, I'm going to level it to make sure that it is straight. But let me caution you, as I have before and in other videos, that epoxy is very slick and glass on glass is going to slide. So please ensure that you are hanging around while this thing dries to make sure that it does not slip. So now that our centerpiece has dried thus far, what we're going to do is place our last and final piece of glass on top of our bare glass. And to do this, we are going to use again our Gorilla Glue epoxy. But as you can see, what I just did there was I leveled it so that I could have a feel of where I needed to place my glue. And so what I'm doing here is I'm placing my glue just above the bottom of that bowl, and just where the bowl starts to curve up a little, so that when I set that bowl into the bare glass, that lip will come into contact with it and I will have a secure fit. Now please be sure when you're doing this part, because I used a little bit too much, and some of that epoxy, like I told you, is very slick. It slid down into my top glass. Luckily it dries clear, so it looks like a bead of glue or a bead of dew. However, when you are repeating this step, make sure that you're not using as much as I did. And then once you have placed your glue, please use your level to ensure where it is that or rather I should say where your bowl is going to sit at the level place and hold it there for about 1 to 2 minutes to ensure that that glue engages. So now that our glass bowl has dried into place, you can see where we have the remnants of some glue that has encrusted inside of our glasses. And so to cover this up, I'm simply going to use some orange diamond wrap. Again, if you learn from my mistake and you did not use, or do not use rather, as much glue as I did, you may not need this step. But what I'm doing here is covering up that misstep so that the beauty of this project is not masked by hardened glue. And so as you can see, what I did was I took my measurement and now I'm going to cut it so that I'm only gluing down, of course, what I need. And once I have gotten the piece that I need to go around that vase, I'm just placing some beads of hot glue on that ribbon, because as you can see, there's some Gorilla Glue epoxy that is still waiting to be dried there. So I am going to place my hot glue on top of that Gorilla Glue epoxy. And of course, what this means for me is this orange ribbon is going to be a permanent fixture on my centerpiece, but that's fine. That just means that I can pull it out next year and place it on my Thanksgiving table. And so once I have found my placement, it is simply a matter of patting it down, joining the two ends, and leaving it to dry for a few minutes. So now that our centerpiece is completely dried, I am now going to place my 8-inch styrofoam ball atop that round bowl. And to do this, I am going to use the hot glue gun because, of course, I may not want that styrofoam to be a permanent fixture to my centerpiece. I may want to change it out for a plate or for something else. And so once I have placed my hot glue on top of that bowl, it is simply a matter of placing my styrofoam ball down into that space. Once I have done so, I am now going to place my acrylic garlands onto the ball by attaching them to the greening pins and placing them around that ball wherever I think I would like to see crystals hanging from that styrofoam ball. And so I'm just going to continue this process until I am satisfied with where those crystals are hanging. Some of them short, some of them long. Maybe you might want your crystals to hang uniformly. I tend to like to see them scattered all throughout the piece. And so, of course, whichever way you would decide to hang your garlands is completely up to you. And so just continuing to place my last garland for the benefit of this tutorial, and then it is now time to make our flower arrangement. And those of you who have been watching me for quite some time, you know that this is my favorite part because it is sort of calming to me. And so just making sure to get the most out of this 8-inch styrofoam ball, I am leaving my stems I would say about 1.5 inches, maybe to 2 inches sticking out of this ball. One thing to note, however, is that the larger the ball you use, the more flowers you are going to need. And so in creating this arrangement, I actually used 15 dahlia stems plus a few of those wild roses that the Dollar Tree sells and a few other flowers, so maybe 20 stems of flowers. So just think about it that way. If you do not want to use that many flowers, use a smaller ball. But I am just going to continue this process until our ball is full, and then I'm going to clean this up, set it, and then I'll be back to show you what our finished project looks like. And here she is, my darlings, our Dollar Tree Thanksgiving Day centerpiece. Isn't it lovely? Now, one of the things I just love with the Dollar Tree glass is that it reflects and absorbs LED light beautifully. However, if you are not interested on Thanksgiving Day, or your Thanksgiving dinner is going to be one of romance and you need quite possibly to set the atmosphere as such, please feel free to use the Dollar Tree candle tea lights that they sell, or even the pillar candles to make your centerpiece a little warmer, okay? But I really do enjoy the way this turned out. It is simple yet elegant, and without much fuss or without much ado, we have created a centerpiece that we will be able to use time and time again, year in and year out. Of course, because this is going to be sitting on our Thanksgiving table this year, I chose to use the warm colors of fall, the purples, the reds, the maroons, the golds, just so that we have that traditional colorscape on our table this year. My loves, my darlings, the motto of our channel is this: why buy when you can DIY? And there is absolutely no reason why you would have to go to someone to say, hey, I'd love for you to create a centerpiece for me, when you could just for $4 create a centerpiece on your own and embellish it with your crystal garlands and any flowers of your choice. Listen, if you have found some value in this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as leave me in the comment section below if you think that this centerpiece or one similar to it, by the time you make your adjustments, is going to grace your table this Thanksgiving, or maybe even for your Christmas holiday. Please be sure to tell me. I would love to know. To my Danny's darlings, I just would love to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your encouragement, your edification, your questions, your comments, your love. Please know that I appreciate every single one of you. And for those of you who stumbled across my channel today who are not yet Danny's darlings, we would all collectively invite you to join our channel by subscribing today, and if you do, pressing that notification bell to ensure that whenever our videos have been published, you will be among one of the first to know. My darlings, my loves, as usual and as always, it has been a pleasure crafting with you guys today. And so until next time, I say to you, please take care of yourselves for me. Know that I love you all. Bye now.